Commit to the process and surrender the outcome. Commit to the process, surrender the outcome. Commit to the process, surrender the outcome. If you can fall in love with the process, great. But if you can commit to the process and surrender the outcome, you will find success. Straight up, straight up. Des360, you're tuning in. This is kind of my virtual journal right here. I've experienced a lot in my years on this planet, and I'm just sharing my experiences with you in hopes that you can achieve all your dreams, you can activate that greatness within you, and yeah, go out there and make it happen, man. Make it happen. So I just talked about, well, we're going to talk about, and this is all raw. This is all raw. Human side of things, guys. Like, a lot of times we go on social media and we see everyone's perfect self. You feel me? And like, that's great. That's beautiful. Especially if you put a lot into that, right? Production. I mean, I have multiple channels. I have my skateboard channel and over 300,000 subscribers, and a lot goes into it. You know, it's very DIY, but I do editing. You know, I have my own costume. There's decks that are featured, all these things. But on the flip side, right, when we hit that button and turn it off, life goes on and regular life, you know, happens. And that's like less quote unquote scripted or less ideal. So I wanted to build this channel up from the ground again and just have raw content, raw expression to connect with whoever, anyone that wants to level up in life. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're trying to level up in life. You feel me? Whether that's athletically, whether that's fitness wise, spiritually, mentally, physically, business wise, whatever. And let's talk about this rawness, how I just said, commit to the process, surrender the outcome. I'll start this off first. Little credentials: played overseas basketball for 3 years, right? And I made that happen within 5 years of committing to the process and surrendering the outcome. I also have I own multiple businesses now. I have a skateboard deck business. I have my training business, celebrity trainer, personal training, life coach, and what else we got going on? I was in a tech startup, and I was a CEO of a tech startup that raised 6 figures while we were in college. So a lot going on, and I'm working on more stuff. Some would say like, all right, dude, well, are you focused? That's true. That's true. We all have our own battles, but I am focused. I'm focused on inspiration. I'm focused on building. I'm focused on 360 angles on how you can tackle life, hence the name Des360. So I got credentials. Check out my other videos. And like I said, we're building up this channel again. I'm just going to be sharing with you guys my experiences. So commit to the process, surrender the outcome. While I was in a tech startup that we had started by just an idea, straight up, tech startup called Festii. You can still check us out. Festii, FESTIIE.com. We had this idea that we wanted to change up the game. We wanted to get in the startup world. This was like years ago, like 7 years ago. And getting into that, pretty much we committed to, like, we understood like, all right, we don't know anything about the startup world, but we know that we can learn a ton. And as we learn, we're going to develop experiences. And as we experience the startup community, we will only get better, only get closer to our goal, only learn. It's like real life experience is the best teacher. So that's what I'm talking about, committing to the process. Because so as we developed, we're trying to build tech. I've never built tech before, right? My co-founders some of them were tech savvy, so that was cool, adding parts to the team. But to make that long story short, we did raise some money. We raised some capital, some startup funds, and I'll have other videos about that. We had mentors, people that had already done it, raised 6 figures, 7 figures, people that had hundreds of employees working for them, and they were mentoring us. So I had one of my boys, literally the same age as I am, but he's like under 30, Forbes, CEO, all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. I can learn a lot from him. at the same time, he's coming to me for basketball training because I was hustling to, and when I say hustling, I mean I had my own company, and my own company, like the tech startup birthed other companies. So they say like necessity is the mother of invention. So because I wanted to start my own business and my friends and I were like, hey, let's make a tech startup and do our own thing, we understood that we have to fund that startup. So how do I make money to fund that startup? All right, I could continue working a 9-to-5 job, while I'm going through school in college, or I took it within myself to build my own training company and start doing personal training. And that developed its own revenue, and that's its own business. And that business is actually still going to this day and provided thousands of dollars to fund my startup. So anyways, I'm having dinner with this mentor of mine, and he talks about, and I'm asking him, dude, how did you get here? What's the key to success? How do I take my startup to the next level? Because we're always trying to level up. And he was he broke it down simple. He's like, honestly, dude, there is luck involved, but honestly, surrendering the outcome and just committing to the process. And I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, if you just focus on the day-to-day, you have a long-term goal, great. You set these goals, this vision in mind. But if you just focus on the day-to-day, positioning yourself closer and closer to that goal, doing 1, 2, or 3 things max that can that are significantly gonna get you closer over the period of time, you will inevitably be where you're supposed to be. So he never said you will inevitably be where you want to be. He said you will inevitably, such a cool word, be where you're supposed to be, what the universe has in store for you. And that was cool because that, for me, when I heard that, I was like, whoa, that's interesting. Well, I know what we want, but I don't know what's supposed to happen. And a lot of things that happened and things that happen when you have your own company, have your own business, or are trying to learn something new, a bunch of things happen that you don't expect. So what I mean is the only things you really can quote unquote control is how you get after the daily tasks, right? Like I said, I wanted to triple my income. That was one of my goals recently. And so 2 years ago, I just started writing it down. I'm wild, I'm extreme, I'm intense. But that firm belief, that firm commitment has allowed me to achieve certain things that I'm very proud of. Now, so I was wilding. We all have our numbers. My number is 55. That's 555. So for 55 days, I literally wrote down on a piece of paper, I will triple my income by 2021. Boom. Writing it down. I did that for 55 days. But more importantly, of course, I was putting that energy out there. More importantly, every single day I tried to just focus on being the best trainer. At the time, I was doing my training. I'm still doing training, but be the best trainer I can be, in that time frame with my client. Look into other opportunities for me to grow, whether it's my training business, whether it's another endeavor. And I swear, just by trying to be the best I can be every single day, going to sleep at night, knowing I went hard today. I gave it everything. Just like this guy, give it everything, leave it all out there. That's how you earn it, because, it's complacency and the grind. They say, fatigue makes cowards of men. Basically saying it's the grind, it's that resistance that'll actually get you to do less than what you're capable of doing. Now, I'm not saying to push yourself to extreme burnout, and I'll maybe make another video about how diet is so important. And diet isn't just nutrition. Diet is what you're putting into your body, what you're consuming. That could be food, that could be content, that could be audio stuff. It's a bunch. That could be sleep, everything. And that all goes into it, because if in one area of your life you're going ham, which means you're giving it everything and it's exceeding, and you feel I'm 18-hour days. Well, eventually, if you're not complementing that with at least some form of rest, some form of recovery time, hey, it's going to catch up to you. So commit to the process, surrender the outcome. Okay, so I was saying, I wanted to triple my income. And I wanted to do it within a year and a half, 2 years. So I'm here writing every day, 55 days in a row, 55 times on a paper. I would triple my income. I would triple my income. I would triple my income. Hey, writing is a lost art right now. No one's even writing pen to paper anymore. Even myself, I got to do it more. I think there's some magic there, you know? They don't call it spelling for no reason. Now, did I know how I was going to do it? Nah, not really. I knew I was just going to commit to the process. So what happened was, months are going by, income's kind of staying the same. But then after like 6 months, I get new people reaching out to me for training. And this is cool. And these are people with, you know, and that were reaching out and they're like, hey, I heard of you. You have great reviews. And I'm like, oh, I got reviews? Oh, people are sharing and spreading the word about me? All right, cool. And I've just been focusing on giving them the best care and attention and connecting with them as clients, as training clients, and putting out some good content, and boom, next thing I know, people are asking, and I'm like, okay, now my schedule's starting to get filled up here. And at the same time, I'm taking myself into consideration. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing sessions, I'm giving my energy. So maybe I need to charge more. So I started charging more. I said, you know what? My time is valuable. This is what it's going to be worth. Boom. People saw it. Clients saw it. Okay, that's worth it. Let's do it. I'm like, amazing. Great. So now I got like a 30-40% increase in my income. Boom. Then after that, celebrity clients start reaching out. Now I'm like, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is beautiful. Staying humble, staying grateful, staying focused in that moment. People like Kobe, people like Kevin Durant, people like the greats, whatever. If it's basketball, they end the game. There was a game where Kevin Durant scored 55 points and they asked him, hey, Kevin, like as you were doing that, like what were you thinking? And he's like, I wasn't. I was just focused on that one possession, each possession at a time, playing offense, playing defense. And the summation of that over 48 minutes resulted in me having 55 points. And that's kind of the game. We're in a game, guys. Within a game. So you're watching yourself play, but you're also playing. So can you have that calmness, steadiness, collectiveness to make certain moves while not getting too vulnerable in the situation? And not really vulnerable, but, you know, not too high, not too low. Gotta enjoy it. And I'm an emotionally charged person, so I have a lot of passion to pour out. But at the same time, I'm always checking back in, like, all right, cool, like. So, committing to the process. Still, how did this triple my income? Because it did happen. Next up, and once again, businesses, ideas, birth businesses. Seriously. So, as I'm like kind of a year's passing by and my income's not tripled, I'm like, oh man, I really want it to happen, but I can't really control that too much. My income's going up. So I'm stoked about that. And I said, you know, I want to start doing something that I just enjoy. So I started like collecting skateboards. Something simple. So I'm just spending a little bit collecting skateboards. Income's going up. I'm still learning how to manage it, right? I only buy a couple of skateboards as a reward for myself. I start posting them online. People start reaching out, hey, I'll pay you double. I'll pay you whatever. I'll pay you this amount. And in my head, I'm like, that's double what I paid. Oh, wow. So then, you know, my 20 skateboards, I just kept reinvesting. I'll sell a board, reinvest it, get more boards, build my own collection. And as my collection's growing, but then I also see, oh, my bank account's growing too because people are buying them from me faster than I'm buying them for myself. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, man, this is so much fun. I'm just making videos, sharing boards with people, and people want to buy them off me, and this is so much fun. Now all of a sudden, I'm making money from skateboards, passion. I'm making money in the morning. I'm going and training people, passion. And then I have some more online stuff going on. Like I have, you know, this program, a basketball program on how you can play overseas, because I got to play overseas, and how to build your resume and all these little things. And all of a sudden one day I look and my income is triple, man. You know, 2 years later, and I even now it gives me chills because I'm like, wow. I was just committing to each day, trying to give out good quality and not be so hard on myself, but also just give what I know I can give, what I'm capable of doing. And there it is, yo. So I just want to share that with you guys. Whatever it is, right now my channel is predominantly basketball oriented because I'm trying to say that I was able to accomplish, my dreams with basketball, playing overseas, and then transform everything I learned into other platforms of life. So I have people reach out, oh, I want to play overseas too. And I'll say the same thing to them, like, all right, well, are you ready to get out of your comfort zone? Because you have to separate yourself. So whatever it is you're doing, whether you're trying to play basketball at the next level, a sport, lose weight, build your own business, you gotta get out of your comfort zone. And it is gonna be uncomfortable for a while. Like, I almost live in, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable at this point. And if you can do that, and surrender the outcome, you don't know what's gonna happen. But you do know one thing, you're just gonna learn so much. Like, by the time I even went back to school, and by the time I graduated college, because I went into it like, hey, I wanna learn about what college isn't teaching entrepreneurs. Because I have my own business, multiple. I have a training business and I have this tech startup, and I'm like in the field for real. And then I want to see like if that correlates with school. And so there are always opportunities. And so at the end of it, right, you're just gonna have so many more skills and abilities. Like, I'm like 4 years ago, if you told me like, oh, did you know you'll have a skateboard business and you'll also be like a really good editor and you'll be editing your own videos and you'll be doing people will be coming to you for so many things and just trying to get knowledge, and I'd be like, oh, maybe, I guess it's possible. I'm not gonna rule it out. And I think that's the thing. So if you have a firm vision, which I did at the time when I was trying to play basketball, that's all I was thinking about. I didn't even know where or how, but I was just firmly focused on it. But I also knew that I'm not just gonna wake up one day and someone's knocking on my door begging me to play. I have to put myself into position. That'll be another video, because people gotta put yourself into position for success. But the best way, one way to do that, is by committing to the process, surrendering the outcome. Because if you become a master of your own processes and you start to see your processes are leveling up, it's inevitable that your outcome will level up. So there it is, guys. I'm out. Hope you enjoyed that. Des360. Peace.